Blink and you miss the blooper. Star Wars is a masterpiece. George Lucas created a universe that looked lived in and real, but even in a masterpiece, actors are human, or in this case, clones. In Star Wars: A New Hope, there is a scene on the Death Star. A group of stormtroopers breaks into a control room. The door slides up and the troopers march in. But watch the guy on the right. As he walks through the door, he is a little too tall, or maybe the door is a little too low. Bonk. He smacks his helmet right into the door frame. The impact is so hard that his head snaps back, but he keeps walking as if nothing happened. It is hilarious. Once you see it, you cannot watch the scene without waiting for it. It completely ruins the intimidation factor of the Empire's soldiers. The crazy part is, George Lucas embraced it. Instead of editing it out in the remaster, he added a sound effect, a loud thunk, to draw attention to it. He knew that fans loved pausing and replaying that moment of clumsiness. Then we have Teen Wolf. This is a classic 80s movie starring Michael J. Fox. At the very end of the movie, the team wins the big basketball game. The crowd goes wild. Everyone is cheering in the stands. But look closely at the extras in the background. There is a person standing in the bleachers. To this day, nobody is quite sure if it is a man or a woman, but they are doing something very strange. It looks like they have their pants unzipped. As the camera lingers, the extra realizes the mistake and quickly zips up their fly while trying to act casual. It is such a bizarre moment to make the final cut. Why didn't the editors see it? Why didn't the director notice a random person messing with their pants in the middle of a celebratory shot? It happens so fast that you have to pause it to confirm what you are seeing. But it is there. A tiny moment of human error frozen in time forever. Moving on to something more intentional, let's talk about Fight Club. This movie is all about the mind. It deals with insomnia, split personalities, and anarchy. The director, David Fincher, wanted the audience to feel as unstable as the main character. Before we even meet Brad Pitt's character, Tyler Durden, he is already in the movie. Fincher inserted single frames of Brad Pitt into the first act of the film. He flashes on screen for 1/24th of a second. He appears next to a doctor. He appears in a support group. He appears on the street. These flashes are subliminal. You might feel like you saw something, but your brain cannot quite process it. It creates a feeling of unease. It mimics the narrator's fracturing mind. Fans of the movie spent hours pausing the DVD, trying to catch every single appearance of Tyler Durden. It became a game. It forced the audience to pay attention to every single pixel. It wasn't an accident. It was a brilliant storytelling device that used the medium of film itself to mess with our heads. And speaking of messing with heads, Cabin in the Woods took the idea of pausing for details and turned it into an Olympic sport. This horror movie is a love letter to the genre. It is packed with references. There is a scene where the characters are in a control room and there is a large whiteboard in the background. On this whiteboard is a betting pool. The list on the board is extensive. It lists almost every horror creature you can imagine. Werewolves, zombies, vampires, mermen, giant snakes, clowns, witches. Horror fans went nuts. They paused the movie and spent hours reading every single name on the board. They analyzed the odds written next to the names. They looked for Easter eggs referencing other famous movies. The creators knew that fans would do this. They packed that one frame with enough information to fill a wiki page. It was a reward for the observant viewer. It showed that the filmmakers cared as much about the details as the fans did. These moments, the bloopers and the Easter eggs, are fun. They make us feel like insiders. We know a secret about the movie that the casual viewer misses. But there is one more category of paused moments. The ones that are just confusing. The ones that involve technology that shouldn't exist, or things that defy logic. We have talked about ghosts, nudity, and mistakes, but our final chapter dives into the digital world, a world where creators hid things so deep that it took decades to find them. But here's the catch: sometimes the things we find raise more questions than answers. The map to the secrets. Let's go back to 1982. The world was different then. Computers were these massive, mysterious machines that took up entire rooms. And in the middle of all that analog technology, a movie came out that changed everything. That movie was Tron. It was groundbreaking. To put it mildly, it was a visual shock. It was one of the first films to really push the limits of extensive computer-generated imagery. It didn't just tell a story, it took us inside a video game. It transported us into a digital world that nobody had ever seen before. Since the movie was literally about video games, the animators decided to have some fun. They were working long hours on cutting-edge tech, and they wanted to leave their mark. So, they slipped something in. In one specific scene, when the characters are looking at a map of the digital grid, you can clearly see a familiar shape. If you pause it at just the right second, there he is. It is Pac-Man, complete with his iconic yellow mouth open, chomping on dots, right there on the schematic of the villain's ship. But they didn't stop there. The film also includes a hidden Mickey Mouse face, a clever nod to the parent studio, Disney. These little secrets were some of the earliest Easter eggs in film history. The term comes from the idea of a traditional Easter egg hunt, the thrill of hunting for hidden treasures that aren't supposed to be there. Tron started a tradition that movies like Ready Player One would take to the extreme decades later. But here is the catch. Why do we care so much? Why do we spend our valuable time hunting for a tiny Pac-Man on a grid or a stormtrooper hitting his head in the background of a Star Wars scene? It actually comes down to one simple thing: ownership. You see, when you watch a movie in a theater, you are passive. You are sitting in the dark, surrounded by strangers. The director is the one in control. They control the time. They control the pacing. You see exactly what they want you to see at the speed they choose to show it. You are just along for the ride, letting the story wash over you. But when you have the movie at home, everything changes. Whether it was on VHS back in the day, DVD, or streaming now, once you have that remote in your hand, you are in control. You can stop time. You can go back. You can analyze a single frame for 20 minutes if you want to. You become a detective. You are no longer just a spectator, you are an active participant in the experience. Pausing a movie allows us to see the seams. It lets us peek behind the curtain. We see the boom mic dipping into the frame in the corner of the shot. We see the stunt double who looks absolutely nothing like the lead actor. We see the cardboard cutout in the background that isn't actually a ghost. It reminds us that movies are made by people. They are not magic. They are a collection of choices, mistakes, and happy accidents. And the crazy part is, sometimes those accidents become more famous than the movie itself. Ask someone about the movie 3 Men and a Baby. They probably won't tell you about the plot or the jokes. The first thing they will mention is the ghost. For years, people swore that a young boy had died in the apartment where they filmed, and his spirit was captured on camera standing behind the curtains. It was a massive urban legend. It fueled sales of the VHS tape for years. But when you finally pause it and look closely, really closely, you see the truth. It wasn't a ghost. It was a cardboard cutout of the actor Ted Danson left on the set as a prop. But the legend was better than the truth. Ask people about Basic Instinct, and they won't talk about the mystery plot. They will talk about the interrogation scene. These moments live on because they are frozen. They are captured in our collective memory because we have the power to stop the image and stare at it. We live in an age where everything is analyzed. YouTube channels break down trailers frame by frame, looking for clues. Twitter accounts exist just to post screenshots of continuity errors, like a coffee cup left on a table in a fantasy show. We are obsessed with finding the truth behind the image. But maybe we should just enjoy the mystery. Maybe it is more fun to believe in the ghost for a few minutes. Maybe it is fun to wonder if the animators were pulling a prank on us. The pause button gives us power. But here's the thing nobody tells you. It also takes away the magic of the motion. A movie is meant to move. It's an illusion designed to be seen at 24 frames per second. When you freeze it, you break the spell. So the next time you're watching a movie and you see something out of the corner of your eye, trust your gut. Grab the remote, hit that button. We have looked at ghosts that turned out to be cardboard. We have looked at dust clouds in The Lion King that might be spelling out rude words. We have seen stormtroopers forget how to walk and movie stars flashing us subliminally. The truth is, movies are messy. They are huge productions with hundreds of people working on them, running on caffeine and tight deadlines. Things slip through the cracks, and sometimes things are put there on purpose just to see if we are paying attention. The legend of the hanging munchkin in The Wizard of Oz is totally false. It was just a bird, but that legend adds a layer of darkness to a bright movie. The ghost in Three Men and a Baby is silly once you know the truth, but it gave an entire generation a great scare. These moments prove that the audience is part of the creative process. We create the legends. We find the secrets. We keep these movies alive by talking about them, debating them, and pausing them. So, here's the deal. Don't just watch. Look closer. And that's putting it lightly. The next time you settle in for movie night, keep your finger near the rewind button. The best scene in the movie might be the one you almost missed. Have you ever found a hidden detail in a movie that no one else noticed? Or is there a specific scene you always rewind just to laugh at a mistake? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, smash that like button and subscribe for more hidden secrets.